Hello everyone, welcome to the third video of the Lifestyle Management program. Today's topic is hydration and smart drinking. So fun fact, your body is made out of mostly water, about 70% water, and it can go towards different things. You'll see the lymph, different organs like the liver, the kidneys, lungs, heart, brain, joints, blood, all these different things are made out of water. And so it's important to be getting water from not only drinking sources, but also hydrating foods, etc. There are a lot of really important purposes of water in the body. And so one of the big ones is body temperature regulation. So when it's cold, making sure you can warm yourself up. When it's hot, sweating, perspiring, getting all that hot out. Transporting nutrients to different parts in the body. We know it's really important to be eating fruits, vegetables, and different nutrient-dense foods, but those nutrients need to get to certain organs and to certain places of your body. So it is the proper function of water to help get that through your blood and move to all the right areas. Helps lubricate your joints, helps prevent infections, optimizes organ function, helps get rid of toxins via urine, also helps with proper bowel movements, so it prevents constipation, helps regulate your GI system, and we know that obviously waste out of your body gets come out as poop as well, so getting rid of your stool helps get rid of toxins too. I get the question a lot, when should I drink water? I don't know how much to drink. So you should not be drinking when you're thirsty. That is not a great indicator of how much is good for you, because if you start drinking when you're thirsty, you're generally already dehydrated. So you want to make sure that you're consistently drinking it throughout the whole day, and we'll get into how much you should be consuming. But I just wanted to let you know that indication of thirst means that you are already moving towards dehydration. Effects of dehydration can be migraines, decreased performance, muscle spasms, decreased urination, constipation, dry skin, mouth, lips, and eyes, loss of strength and stamina, increased risk of kidney stones and kidney malfunction, and also poor joint lubrication, so more joint pain. So now you may wonder, okay, how much do I actually have to drink throughout a whole day to make sure I'm not dehydrated? There's two different ways to go about it. If you do count calories, you can do it option number 1. Although I think option number 2 is the easiest way, and that's what I always tell people, is take whatever you weigh in pounds, divide that in half. So that is how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. Therefore, if you are 150 pounds, you should be consuming 75 ounces of water a day minimally. If you're 200 pounds, you should be consuming at least 100 ounces of water a day minimally. So these are approximations. I want you to know that too. You may need to drink more or less than this. Reasons you might need to drink more would be if you're a heavy sweater, if you're outside a lot, say you know that it's a hot summer day and it's really and it's making you sweat and it's really humid, you probably will need to have extra water those days. Or if you are wearing heavy clothes, a lot of times in winter, if you're doing skiing or if you're like a hockey player and you have to wear a lot of pads or warm gear, that will actually hold the heat onto you, so that makes you heat up quite a bit more versus if you were able to not be wearing all of that heavy gear. A way that you can keep track of your hydration level is just using the easiest indicator, which is the color of your urine. Looking at the scale on the left side of the screen, you'll notice that hydration really is shown directly in the color of your urine. So you're trying to stay up into the pale light yellow option. So 1 to 2. If it starts getting 3 or below, that would be obviously dehydration. You do not want to get below like 4. Like that would be not healthy at all. I will premise that in the morning, sometimes your urine will be a little bit more yellow and less clear just because you did a lot of filtration when you were sleeping. Also be aware that there are some medications that can change the color of your urine. Generally, a doctor will talk to you about that, but for a general population, aiming to have clear to pale clear urine is ideal. So now if you're thinking that you're nowhere near getting in a half of your body weight in ounces of water, I wanted to give you some tips to help you work on improving your water consumption. The biggest thing for me is getting a refillable water bottle, not just that, a big one. So I have a big half-gallon, and so I drink that 2 times a day. But even if I'm not at work, I always bring my big half-gallon water bottle with me. And even if I just bring that out running errands or I'm going to play with my nieces and nephews at the park, I have a full half-gallon that I don't have to go refill again. I notice at work if I forget that, I do drink significantly less water because I have to fill up my water bottle more often and it runs out quicker. So then I get lazy and I don't want to do it. Or if I'm out and about running errands and I only have 20 ounces with me, I'm not going to be able to fill it back up until I get home. So I'm only going to get 20 ounces in before that water bottle empties, whereas I would be able to get a half a gallon in before that water bottle empties. Next is just eating more hydrating foods. Fruits and vegetables are very, very full of water. Things like watermelon, berries, tomatoes, cucumbers, oranges, pineapple, kiwi, and celery, all super hydrating foods. You can make your water more flavorful by adding fresh herbs and foods like lemon, lime, orange, cucumbers, melons, berries, and mint. You could try other healthier hydration options that are lower in sugar, like coconut water, carbonated, sugar-free options like Bubbler or off-brands of that, low sugar or sugar-free juice or lemonade, hot tea, so getting a tea packet and steeping that, unsweetened cold tea, or some electrolyte drinks that would be lower in sugar. So next thing to talk about is what types of fluids should you be limiting in your healthy lifestyle. So you want to regularly eliminate Gatorade and Powerade unless you are doing sports and you're excessively sweating. So it is a performance drink. There's a lot of sugar and salt added to it because it is used as energy and fuel for athletes. So it's not for a person who's just trying to drink water in their office. Although if you know that you're out at a beach, you need some more hydration like that, it's useful for purposes that you need extra hydration or you're sweating a lot more or you're exposed to hotter weather. But generally speaking, that's not something that you should be having on a daily basis if you're not an athlete. So juice would be regular juice. So you want to limit just high sugar juice. Yes, it is good to be consuming juice if it's 100% juice because it has nutrients in it, although it can be really high in sugar. So I always recommend doing half juice, half water, or even just taking primarily water and adding in a little splash of juice. That can really improve the flavor of your water. And with kids, you don't want to get them used to having straight water, straight juice, because that gets them used to the sugar. So starting them out with more of a diluted option is better. High calorie coffee drinks, you want to stay away from those. Regular coffee without the whipped cream and the sugary syrups and stuff is lower in fat, sugar, and calories. It does not count towards your hydration level, just so you're aware. Coffee does not, because coffee naturally makes you urinate, so it's a diuretic. But it is better than having a sugary coffee drink due to the fact that there's not as much calories and sugar and additives to it. Next is soda. You do want to try and minimize that. And then alcohol and beer. I wanted to dive deeper into sugary coffee drinks because this is such a common thing. And in our convenient lives, we're always stopping places. And this can really help you eliminate, eliminating a couple of them a week can really make an impact on your health if you're consuming them every day. So when people say they're drinking coffee, normally it's not just plain coffee, right? 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sugar. It can sometimes be upward to 600 calories. 73 grams of sugar is a salted caramel mocha from Starbucks. So just that you're aware, like that is more sugar than a candy bar or a donut. So you might be thinking, oh, it's just a way to start my day, but that way to start your day is a lot of sugar, a lot of extras that you don't need. Generally speaking, The American Heart Association wants women, adult women, to consume less than 6 tablespoons or 24 grams of sugar a day, and adult men to consume less than 9 tablespoons or 36 grams of sugar a day. I just wanted to give you some recommendations if you are going to be consuming coffee drinks, because we all love coffee, right? Like I drink coffee every day, but what I do is I use almond milk creamer or just plain unsweetened almond milk. That's super low calories, barely any sugar. You could even just do a latte with almond milk or even like oat milk or something like that. But the more sugar that you add, the bigger size cup that you get, obviously that is going to add more calories and more sugar. So just trying to use as much plain as possible. So a regular latte with almond milk and a sugar-free sweetener is a really smart choice compared to some other things. But the last thing I wanted to talk about would be increasing fluids safely. You might be drinking like 30 ounces a day and you're like calculating, oh my God, I'm supposed to be drinking 80 ounces a day. How am I supposed to do that? I'm going to be peeing every half an hour. Yes, you will, because your bladder is not used to that much volume of fluid, right? And so it's really important that you increase fluid safely so that you're not uncomfortable having to urinate all the time. I tell people trying to consume around 10 to 20 ounces more every couple of weeks or about a month. It does take time to get consistent with it. So for example, say you're starting at 30 ounces, try to do 40 to 50. And it might take you a couple of weeks to consistently be hitting 40 to 50. You might be like, oh, twice a week I can get that if I really focus on it, but the rest of the days I can. So wait until you're consistently every day hitting 40 to 50, and then be like, okay, now I'm going to aim for 50 to 60 or 60 to 70. And so it might take a few months for you to get from 30 ounces of water up to 80 ounces of water. It might take you 4 or 5 months, but you'll feel better and you won't be as uncomfortable having to take up time urinating all the time throughout your day at work or at home. And that's just because purely your uterus is made out of tissue and it needs time to stretch, just like a stomach for a pregnant female. It needs time to stretch or you're going to get stretch marks. You know what I mean? The tissue itself just is not elastic like that. It needs to have time to adapt. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. You're more than welcome to ask the personal trainers to transfer the questions to me and I can get back to you as soon as possible, or just let me know at our next one-on-one session. Thanks.